On Asia Down Under today, a haunting look at Cambodia's darkest hours under the Khmer Rouge. The wandering melodies of the bowls of Bengal. And heart-healthy fish, the Asian way. Hello and welcome to Asia Down Under. For many decades, Chinese growers in New Zealand have kept the wheels of vegetable farming turning. Today we meet some of them who've been struggling to keep what's become a family tradition alive.
For 142 years, Kiwi Chinese market gardens have been the backbone of the vegetable growing industry in New Zealand. By the 1940s, nearly 90% of green vegetables across the country were grown by Chinese. Hao Yang grew up in one of these market gardens and comes from a long line of hard-working farmers. Getting his hands dirty has become a lifestyle.
Well, certainly there was plenty of work around. Even when we came home from school, we had to work in the gardens. When we got a little bit older, we had to go to work in the mornings before school. I remember going out and picking up all the workers before school, and sometimes we used to cut lettuce at 5 o'clock before breakfast and then go to school.
It was a life shared by many descendants of the early Chinese settlers who lived isolated from the rest of New Zealand society. Like the Yang family, the Su family continued their grandfather's business. But in these modern times, their means of living is under threat.
Yes, it's, as time goes on, it's just harder and harder to make ends meet. But it's a supply thing. If there's short supply, well, we can get better prices. But at the moment, it's, well, ample supply and the prices are not very good. And it's probably maybe break even at this stage for us.
There's also the issue of having no one to pass the business on to. The Yangs and the Sus have toiled hard to keep the soil turning, but mostly they think this is the end of the line.
Well, I think we're just biding time, really. I mean, soon. I mean, we're getting to the age where we'll probably have to give up anyway, because there's no younger generation coming on. Because they've seen how hard, you know, their parents have had to work, so they've gone out to get degrees and that, and a lot have gone overseas, and you know, there's easier things to do than market gardening.
Supermarket chains are another culprit, as the way they buy their vegetables makes it difficult for growers to earn a profit.
When supermarkets started, that was the beginning of the end of the auction system. Once foodstuffs, and then Woolworths, and then Progressive all started buying direct from the growers, and they were actually started setting the price for the grower. As soon as there was a glut, well, prices went down, and even now, I don't believe it's a true supply and demand situation.
The impact was shocking. From the 1980s to today, there's been a 70% decline in Chinese-owned market gardens.
Yeah, well, certainly a lot of the older Chinese growers that have been, like glass houses and Mangri and that, have disappeared. They've sold their land and grown houses as more profitable, and and they haven't got the younger generation coming over, or the younger generation have gone to the professions.
One of the very few young growers who's sticking around and working the land is Jason Su. He works with his father and uncles in the paddock full-time, but the future is up in the air.
Carry on until they finish, and then when they finish, then make up my mind from there.
I don't really want them to go through what I'm going through now, trying to fight for a living. It has its good days and its bad days, I suppose.
But the Yang family saw the writing on the wall and has decided to lease out part of their land for dairy farming.
Well, it gives us another string to our bow, sort of, you know, and of late, you know, vegetable growing hasn't been that profitable. Whereas dairying, you know, it doesn't matter how much milk you produce, you know, it's always picked up and paid for.
It's the end of the era.
Yep, we're the last one standing. And I think, you know, well, probably haven't got long to go. I mean, yeah, I can't see really there's that brighter future for growers. Sure, everyone's got to eat, and really, you take vegetables, we're in a health business. We're the ones that keep New Zealand healthy, and I believe growers should be compensated for that, but half the time, growers can't even recover costs on the vegetables they're growing, so, you know, what is the point?
It's a question most market garden families now face. For years, market gardening has been passed down as a means of living. But now, it seems this tradition will only be handed down as stories from the past.